and thank you for letting me come to your class today. My name is Janelle Patera, and I am a librarian here at Dominican. Today we're going to be discussing some search strategies you can use to locate relevant information to complete your research papers and the preliminary bibliographies I know you have coming due for your civil liberty papers. Alright, so we're going to use some library databases to do this. And now from the Dominican homepage, you can just come right here to the library. And we're going to be looking at, or know that you need 6 up-to-date scholarly articles for your bibliography. And if you see right here, find articles, the links we're going to look at are A to Z links of databases as well as databases by subject. So let's go into databases by subject first. Now, this is a great place to start if you're not quite sure what database you want, if you're not very familiar with databases at Dominican. Now, for our purposes, does anyone have any idea what database will work well, or what subject might be the best for us to start on this project? Yeah. That's exactly right. So this gives you a list of possible databases to use. Now, today we're going to focus on one of the databases in here, which is Index to Legal Periodicals right here. And what I'm going to show you today is how to use general searching strategies in this database. But I want you to keep in mind that these searching strategies are universal and can be used in pretty much any of these databases as well as the library catalog. So what I want you to take today is some strategies that can help you not just on this assignment, but throughout your time at Dominican. I'm also going to show you how to search and navigate this particular database and show you some features that, again, are pretty universal to a lot of the databases that we use at Dominican. What I would like you to do, too, then, is to apply some of these search strategies that we discussed today to some of these other databases. And next time we get together, we're going to get together in a week, as you know, and you're going to have an opportunity to have some hands-on experience to put some of the stuff that I teach you today to action into a database. And I would like you to look over these and pick another database, because Index to Legal Periodicals is great, but there are some other databases here that will be really helpful to you. LexisNexis is one, as well as Opposing Viewpoints is another great one. You can go to the About feature right there, and it will tell you more about these databases. It'll tell you what areas they cover. You can see this covers constitutional law, which certainly would encompass civil liberties, so it looks like it will be a good one for us. Before we get into it, though, I want to show you one other convenient way that you can access databases at Dominican, and that's by going to the A to Z list of databases. Now, we already know the one we're looking for, and we know it starts with I. All right, and we see it right at the top, Index to Legal Periodicals. Now, before we jump in there, I want you to pay attention to this Omni file here, because this will actually come into play, so do remember that. And we'll go ahead and click in there. It should take us directly to it. Now, if you're not on campus, you can still access it, but you will need to enter your Dominican ID and password. Alright, so once we get here, it looks like we should go ahead and start searching for civil. But wait, before we do that, at the top it says database selection area, so maybe we should select our database, because it looks like this provides you with more than just our database that we're interested in. So does anybody see Index to Legal Periodicals up there listed? It's not there, right? But what was that word that I told you to remember? What was it? Exactly. So let's click on that. And this is a little confusing, so I want you to remember this. And if you notice, it changed our search screen a little bit. And this popped up, search area. So in order to access the legal periodicals, you're going to want to scroll down and click on legal. Now this is kind of tricky because it does tend to disappear, and so you're going to want to continuously look as you perform searches to make sure legal is still highlighted. Okay. Now we can start a search civil liberties, constitutional rights, they're all pretty much talking about the same things you want to use to get the best result. Well, we can go right up here to the thesaurus. And basically what this is going to do is let you type in a word, will be civil rights, and it will tell you if it's the particular word or phrase that this database uses to organize articles. The database will choose a term when multiple terms mean the same things, and it will choose one as the correct term. So in order to return the most accurate and the best results and give yourself the greatest chance for success, you just want to make sure you're using the right term. And okay, constitutional rights, it looks like this is, or civil rights, it looks like this is used for constitutional rights, so we're on the right track. So let's go back to our search screen. And I encourage you to follow along on your handout. Your handout just goes over some universal search strategies that you can use to search this database, and you can use for your entire time at Dominican to search different databases and catalogs. Okay, so let's do civil rights. And this is a really broad topic, but let's just see what we get. And if you can notice, I put quotations around that. And basically what that's going to do is tell the database that I'm only interested in results that contain civil rights as a phrase. Otherwise, it would give me back all of the entries that contain the word civil and the word right anywhere in them, and that would be way too broad, and we would get a lot that is not related. So this, while very broad, 28,000, you can see right at the top how many we have. We should have some ones that are on the right track. But we certainly want to narrow down, because I know that you have to pick out a particular civil liberty for your final paper. So we're going to want to go to modify search right here. Don't backspace or hit search, because what that will do is it will erase your current search. By modifying the search, it'll save you a lot of frustration by having to retype everything in there. So let's check to make sure. See, for some reason the subject area sometimes goes back to all. It doesn't always. Sometimes it does. So let's bring it back to legal. Now, if we were going to choose a civil rights, a really popular one, to narrow in on, let's actually do speech. So we have these commands here, and, or not. And if we choose the and, which we will, what this is going to tell the computer is to only give us back the results that contain both civil rights and speech. You can see in your handout, it only gives you what overlaps between the two circles. If we do this, it should substantially narrow down our results. And if any of you are thinking about pre-law, I know that that is a focus area in political science. This will be a great resource for you to use throughout your time here. Okay, so now we're down to 117. And just looking at them, schoolhouse, free speech for students. So it looks like we're getting some good hits, but let's modify even more, because freedom of speech is covered in the First Amendment, but there are other civil liberties in the First Amendment, right? You have press, you also have religion. So we could be getting some overlapping civil rights into other areas as well. And we don't want to, because you're really just focusing on one civil right for your paper. So we want to make sure that that is what we are getting results for. All right. So does anybody know what command we could use if we really want results that just have to do with speech and really do not get involved with religion? Yeah. Exactly right. I'm looking. Spell that correctly. There we go. Okay. So this should help narrow us down even further to more accurate results. So it took us down some, not extensively, but again, it is a good way to narrow down your